Leo is a nursing student who enjoys drawing on his spare time, but doesn't really think anything of it. He lives with his brother Sam and his cousin Niall in Seattle, Washington. He works part-time as a cashier in the same place his brother also works as a stockier. Even though they grew up in a large mansion as young children, they prefer the smaller things. Money can't buy happiness. He has pink hair and purple eyes. Why? Many people ask the question, and here is the answer. I've put a lot of thought into this and tried to make it as realistic as possible. So, there is a genetic gene mutation in his melanin, causing a red pigment to be shown throughout his body. As the mutation was developed in the womb, doctors are astonished to realize that the boy was born with purple eyes and light pink hair. Well, how could this be possible? He was undergo many observations and studies as an infant, and they had concluded that it was the first mutation of its kind. He was labeled as the pink-haired boy. Now, due to this mutation, there are a few downsides to this, and not just oh well he just has pink hair. Leo cannot grow hair as fast as a normal person. Even the rate of a person with slow hair growth, he is still slightly slower. The mutation also caused his eyes and skin to be extremely sensitive to sunlight and can cause major sunburns and bruising. His eyes have become very sensitive to light, and is often in the shade due to the sensitivity. His skin tone has a slight red tint to it, even though he is as pale as can be. The hair on his body is also the same tint as his hair, but it is a little harder to see, and his hair cannot absorb hair dye. It would drain out or fade away within days. May, his mother, eventually had enough and wanted the boy to grow up as a normal child. Normal is all he wanted. But he got quite the opposite. As he grew up, his mother slightly began to become increasingly self-obsessed, obsessing over her own looks rather than to care for her own children. Alexander, Leo's father, was an alcoholic. He was slightly abusive to the male children. And by slightly I mean very. When he would get drunk, he got very aggressive, yelling at the children while having harsh sex with May to rub it in their faces that he was the dominant one of the family, and that no one could take his place. He would also have a tendency to lash out on the children by yelling or physically pushing them down to get them out of the way. The children were very scared of Alexander. Sam was an exception. She was his favorite, the first female to be born. He was his princess. Sam was the supporter. He was the support to Leo and Zebra when they were young. Zebra would need to let his oppressed anger out onto someone because of the constant degrading and belittling for being the oldest, yet the weakest. He became self-conscious and worked out to the point of exhaustion. He would try his hardest to impress his father. He was never good enough because he wasn't the little princess. Eventually he would take his anger out on Leo. He was smaller, weaker, and was an easy target. Zebra needed to feel worth something. He needed to feel strong. Sam was strong for a young girl, and could actually put up a fight against Zebra. Leo was the youngest, and the weakest. Zebra soon snapped, and had enough of his father's belittling. While his father was throwing a small party with friends, Zebra snuck after him when he was alone to go to the bathroom, another family secret that wasn't really known until her death. Clementine, Niall's mother and May's sister, was in love with Alexander, her sister's husband. She never saw the drunk, abusive side to Alexander that the children would see. She saw the charming, attractive, older man that would throw parties and flirt with her non-stop. Of course, he was unhappy with his marriage with May. She was becoming so self-obsessive because he would avoid her. She became a cold plastic bitch. He preferred the natural woman. She had a constant secret fling with Alexander when Niall turned the age of 11. Going back to Zebra following his father to the bathroom, he chose the most overrated weapon. A knife. Of all the things that he could have chosen, he chose a fucking knife. There were guns in the house, why didn't he just choose that? He could have even gone with something more creative, like fucking scissors. Nope. A knife. His reasoning behind the chosen weapon is that he wanted to kill his father slowly. He wanted to see the life drain from his eyes as he kills him. He wanted to dominate his father. For all the shit he did. Edgy, isn't it? Anyway, on his way to his father, Clementine saw Zebra following Alexander from a distance. She needed to do something. She needed to save her secret lover. Welp, what did the dumb bimbo do? Waited till the last minute to try and stop this furious angry son from killing his father. She stepped right in front of Alexander while Zebra was mid-swing. Of course, this was a tragic love story that involved death. Not. Yes, Clementine bled out before she could be rushed to the hospital. Zebra felt major regret. This was not his intention, he wanted to heal his father. Not her. He was sentenced to 9 years in federal prison, trialed as an adult, and convicted of manslaughter. Leo had a sigh of relief, as one of his abusers was gone. Or at least for a while. He grew older and finally came out as gay. His father and mother did not take that lightly. They were ashamed that their own son would love the same gender. How could he create children? He was more of a disappointment than he already was. This didn't really faze Leo. He grew up being shat on so much he became used to the abuse. He was sent to an all-female school. His mother dressed him up and wanted him to become straight. This was their way of training him to become attracted to females, to surround him with females. Eventually, Leo made a female friend. Her name was Zoe. She was a cheerleader for the male football team at the all-male school. Leo wanted to support his friend as best as he could. She was the only one he could trust with his secret. He would go to her games to cheer her on. Even when she would mess up, he still had her back. He even eyed one of the football players in the field, and had little fantasies when she wasn't cheering. Nothing harmful. Just a small Cinderella story he would play in his head, over and over. He would even change up the story sometimes, from Cinderella to Beauty and the Beast, to Sleeping Beauty. One day there was a small accident as someone was tossing Zoe in the air. This caused her to fall and break her leg. Everyone rushed to the area, and Leo got next to her as he was waiting for the ambulance. This is where Dante comes in. He was the one Leo was eyeing. The edgy, angsty, beefed-up football player came over to her to give her water and a pillow to rest on. Leo's heart was racing as he built up the courage to say hi. Wow. He hit it off. The awkwardness Dante found adorable, since he is a thing for shy girls. Leo gave him his number. At this time, Sam was going through a hard time. A hard time for any transgender person is transitioning from one gender to the other. He was a male, but born a female. He was comforted with a bunch of support from friends, Leo, and Niall. Alexander hit a wall. This was his princess. He did not want to accept the fact that he will no longer have a baby girl. Sam left the all-female school and transferred to the all-male school. This was a hard time for May, but she accepted Sam, which made Leo jealous. Why does Sam get support from May but not him? This made him agitated but not mad at Sam, since it was not his fault for how his mother felt. Due to Sam's transfer, Leo thought it was a good idea to get inside information, to see how Dante really was without him around. Surprisingly, from what Sam found out is that he was an actual caring individual and not an ass. After about a year of getting to know Dante and becoming good friends with him, enough to where they started dating, about several months into the relationship, Leo thought it was the perfect time to tell him the truth. Leo got him to the house one day, got him to his room. Dante thought he was going to get some action. But, to his surprise, in the middle of talking to Leo pulls his pants down and stares at Dante dead in the eyes and states, "I'm a male." Dante was taken back by this. This made him stop and contemplate everything he thought about Leo. He thought he was straight, but he still loves Leo. What does that make him? He turned to Leo and sighed, "You may be a male, but I will still love you," he stated. This made Leo cry, not sadness, but happiness. This strengthened their bond as a couple. But sadly, as May and Alexander found out about their relationship, Leo was kicked out of the house. Sam did not stand for this and left with Leo, as well as Niall. Dante still currently lives with his middle-class normal family. That's about it for Leo's story to this current day. Oh, before I forget, here's a fun fact about Niall and May. After May found out that Alexander was having a thing with her sister, she was so deeply saddened, and Niall came to comfort her one day. Oddly, he looks very familiar to Alexander at a young age, and as he grew older he looked increasingly like him. This made May grow a strong attraction to Niall to the point of obsession. Now every time Niall is spotted with a female, May has to stick her nose in it and drive the girlfriend or boyfriend away. May has stated several times to Niall that he is hers. He denies it since he finds incest disgusting, but her tits make him uncomfortable since they are so perfect. He's a tit and ass man, and she has both. He still hates her and finds her very disgusting, but it makes him question his morals every time she's around him. He is a very big cuddle bear, which May finds so attractive she will sneak into his room at night, strip naked and try to seduce him in his sleep. This causes major distress for Niall, since he is so scared she will have sex with him in his sleep. Oh, did I mention he is a porn star? Yeah, there is that too that doesn't help the situation. Thank you so much for watching the video. I put a lot of effort into this video, so if you could like or share it, it would mean the world to me. Anyway, what do you guys think of the story? Feel free to comment, as I do read them. Thank you. Bye.